worry too much. Don't worry about it. Do you ever say those things? I think there are times when, if we are really honest, we have some additional worries. The international pandemic we are experiencing causes us to have some concerns, not just about whether we might contract the virus ourselves and become unwell, but possibly financial concerns, family worries, anxiety for our children's well-being because they're not connecting with their friends in school. I mean, they've gone back to school, but so many I keep having to come and go because I might get a cold like Ellie did last week. We may have elderly parents and we had concerns for them, or family a long distance away, and wondered when we might see them next. And that's becoming the case again for me. We have a much loved daughter and son-in-law, this is Sarah speaking, living in Canada, and we were due to travel there for a visit in the spring of 2020, and that couldn't happen. So we wondered when we would see them next, when could we fly there safely? Is that a legitimate concern and a worry as a parent? I think it's acceptable, and I give myself permission to say, yes, that's a concern. In Matthew chapter 6, Jesus tells us not to worry. He tells us this because he wants to remind us that he can look after us and has made every provision for us. He encourages us not to worry because worrying means we are trying to take things into our own hands instead of trusting him. The minute we stop casting our cares upon him and trying to work them all out for ourselves, that's when worry can set in. Jesus goes on to say in John's Gospel, chapter 14, "Do not let your hearts be troubled." In other words, sometimes we do have worries and concerns, but Jesus says, do not let that worry afflict you so much that you become troubled. When your worry develops into something that causes you to lose peace of mind, sleep, appetite and concentration, when you feel disturbed by your worries, that's a difficult time, isn't it? So Jesus says, let me look after you. Put your trust in me and I will help you with your worries. The Old English original word for worry actually means to strangle. And I think worry has the capacity to strangle us and hold us in a vice and a tight grip. So Jesus encourages us to try to worry less and to trust more. Don't worry about the things that you can't solve or fix at the moment. Embrace today and let Jesus take hold of tomorrow, because tomorrow has its own cares. Not that we ever do worry, of course, but if we ever did, here are some helpful things for us to consider. One day when Jesus was talking to disciples, he said, in this world you will have trouble. John 16 verse 33. Great, I would have thought to myself, thanks for that. We thought that you would come to make everything good again. Jesus goes on to say, but take heart, I have overcome the world. What this really means is that there isn't a problem that you and I go through that Jesus can't help us with and bring us out the other side of. Don't be afraid because I have come into the world, Jesus says. Someone once likened worry to a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't get you anywhere. Have you ever noticed that worry is really distracting to our minds, causing us to be restless? And it doesn't actually solve any of our problems. Rather, sometimes it creates further ones. Jesus gives us some sound advice about what we can do when we feel worried. If he affirms we're going to have troubles and addresses the whole issue about worry in Matthew chapter 6, mentioning that word 7 times, then he truly understands what we go through and can help us. In the book of Philippians, Paul says that when we are anxious, we should present our requests to God in prayer with thanksgiving, and then God's peace can flood our hearts. I love to talk to a friend when I'm facing something that I'm worried about, and I'm sure you do too. Someone who listens and cares and who will come alongside me. How much more wonderful is it when we talk to God about our worries? He is the one who created us, who knows us and promises never to leave us or forsake us. That is really good news, and it gives us comfort. When worries and concerns come our way, when troubles come, we know exactly where we can turn. When the troubles come, as they often will, remember that Jesus will help us overcome.